Welcome to Mum Abroad's YouTube channel, where I'm joined today by Seamus, a multinational computer scientist with a passion for both technology and personal finance. With a decade of experience in the financial industry, Seamus founded Horizon65 to combine finance with technology, along with his business partner, Nicholas Overloop. They offer honest, transparent, and scientific advice for expats to plan their retirement and to help them build wealth. Horizon65 is based in Berlin. Hi, Seamus.
Hi there, thanks for having me.
You describe yourself as a fintech entrepreneur. What does that mean exactly?
Yeah, so fintech stands for finance and technology. As a fintech company, we bring together both worlds and both of my passions, offering financial advice backed with a technology product.
On the homepage of your website, it states that Horizon65 is, and I quote, on a mission to rebuild the pension industry. Can you tell us a little bit more detail about that?
Mhm. Yeah, so our ultimate goal is it for anybody out there to have a stable and secure pension. And in order to achieve this, it's really important to fully understand the best way to invest for each person individually. And existing products and like products from the past are not really tailor-made. They are oftentimes quite expensive. People never fully understand how they work. And we want to be completely different. We want to offer transparent products, low-cost products, and super flexible products, which also help our expat community that might not settle in Germany for all their life. They might go home somewhere abroad or might switch countries every couple of years.
You and Nicholas are very much on the same wavelength, and together you've created a team of very experienced and qualified experts. What would you say makes a good personal advisor, and what makes the experts in your team stand out from all the other financial advisors who are out there?
Mhm. Well, for us, it's really important to only have A players, like really senior, experienced people. Like, I don't believe it's a good idea to go to somebody that doesn't have much experience themselves. Like, if I'm looking for advice, I want to go to somebody who's really qualified. So, when looking for advisors for our company, we looked at people who have at least a decade of experience themselves, who we don't have to train much, like who already bring in new knowledge and new experiences to the team. And together, we make sure that we go on, yeah, additional education measures to always make sure that we are highly qualified and that we are able to answer all the questions any of our customers might face us with.
Do you have quite an international team?
So far, the international side comes more from Nicholas and myself. Also, our developers happen to be quite international. My other advisors are pretty German. So, I mean, one has a Turkish background, but he was born here, he grew up here. So, I would say the team is pretty German, or I mean, at least European. But yeah, that doesn't stop us from offering good advice for expats because what they need is somebody who knows the German environment and the German field of finance. And that's where we really step in and are able to help.
So, Seamus, for everyone who has a clear idea of how they want to invest their money, I'm sure that there are many others who don't know where to start. So perhaps you could take us from the beginning and explain the importance of investing.
Mhm. That's a really good question because many people fully depend on their income. And what people don't know is that the state pension in Germany only covers around 40% if you have like an average income of your current salary. So you actually are losing 60% of your income. And in order to not have this huge gap once you retire, it is really important and actually a must for everyone out there to invest on a monthly basis just to build up assets and wealth so they will not have any old age poverty is how we tend to call it because it's definitely a big gap which people are facing.
So that's one thing if you're in full-time employment all of your adult life. But how does this differ for women who may have taken a career break, for example, to stay at home and bring up a family?
Mhm. That's, yeah, sadly, the part of the pension problem we have to face every single day, because women that want to be there for the family, want to be there for their kids, and that decide to stay at home for some time, take a career break, they will not be contributing into their own pension during that time, which means that their pension gap is increasing more and more and more over time until a point where they might not actually be able to catch up to what men have been earning in the past. And that's really a big problem that many women are facing, even though what they're doing is super valuable and important, but it's not valued from the pension side. So they sadly have to face a bigger gap.
And so, what would be the best way to overcome this gender pension gap?
Mhm. So in the end, it might not be possible for each and every one, but it would be to invest money also while they are not working. So if they are staying at home, taking care of their kids, they should make sure to also put some money aside just to close that gap a tiny bit more. Also, and that I believe strongly, um, the partner who is still working has to make up for what the partner who's at home
Mm.
is dealing with. So in the end, setting up a pension plan for your partner makes a lot of sense. So many of our clients decide, just an example from last week. So one of our husbands decided to put 200 euros a month towards a pension plan under the name of his wife. So she directly benefits from it. And even if they get a divorce, she can keep it. So I think that's a super nice thing to do, but it's also important. And if people do decide to have a family, everybody has to stick together and, yeah, protect their future together and jointly. And looking at the average life expectancy, having a pension plan under your wife's name makes a lot of sense anyways, simply because you might be receiving the money, the payout longer, simply statistically speaking.
That's because statistically speaking, women often outlive men.
Exactly. Yeah. So a pension plan typically, depending on how you structure it, will pay out until you die. So it's structured in a way that the beneficiary or the person whose name is on the contract receives it as long as they are alive. So but if you put it under your wife's name, it will be paid out until your wife dies. Or if it's under the husband's name, it will be paid out until the husband dies. So it can make sense in a lot of ways, but you really have to look at the family income, and also you have to look at when people decide to retire. Because depending on the age difference, that is something quite complicated and something that an expert really has to look into and to make a good plan that works for everybody involved.
So, Seamus, once a client decides that they want to go ahead and invest, what are the next steps?
Okay, so we always make sure that a client has no questions left. So for us, it's really and like truly important that people fully understand what the pension plan involves, or what our solution, the one we looked for and we found together with our client, that it actually works. Um, the next steps are quite simple. So together we apply for the pension plan or any other product, because we can also offer real estate investments or direct fund investments. We're completely flexible in the possibilities we have, but it's all fully digital. Like we do it all over the phone or via a video chat. And we also, once everything has been signed, are still there for a client. So we will always be the contact person, the first person to contact and to call in case there are any questions. So even after a year or two, we can always, yeah, be reached by our clients, messaged, and we'll help with any questions. But it's quite simple. The hard part is done. The hard part is finding the right solution. Everything that comes after is quite simple.
You also have an app, I believe. So, can you explain a little bit about how that works and what are the benefits of it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So our app is actually the first place to start. So everybody can use our app to calculate their state pension, the one they will receive if they stay in Germany, or also if they leave Germany but have worked here in the past. And that allows people to have like a first understanding how much they can actually expect to receive, and also how high the pension gap for them is personally. In addition to that, it allows you to also store all your private pension plans or your company pension plans. So any pension you have in addition to your state pension, you are able to include. Also your real estate investments or your fund investments, or in case you still have cash savings, those can also be added to our app. And what we do then is we have a KI that automatically calculates how much money you will have at the age of retirement, because inflation, other risks that might interact with your investments could reduce the amount that is available. And we always make sure to have a scientific approach to showing you how much you can expect once you retire.
Seamus, thank you very much for coming to talk to us today and explaining more how Horizon65 works. I'm just going to put at the bottom of the screen your website address. That's www.horizon65.com. And if anybody wants more information, they can take a look there, and they'll also find your contact details, so telephone number and email address.
Yeah,
so
thanks so much.
Thank you very much for joining me.
Perfect. So have a nice day. And if you have any questions, just feel free to message me and we'll be happy to help.